He doesn't throw punches, he moves the entire sport. With sharp suits, sharper instincts, and a mouth that never misses a headline, Eddie Hearn turned promotion into performance, and business in a global boxing theater. From backroom deals to stadiums packed with 90,000 screaming fans, he transformed Matchroom into a fight empire. He took boxing from pubs to platforms like DAZN, brought the heavyweight division roaring back to life, and put names like Joshua, Canelo, and Taylor at the center of the spotlight. He's bold, he's loud, he's always closing, and love him or hate him, you listen when he talks. So, before we break down the rise, the risks, and the reinvention of modern boxing through the eyes of Eddie Hearn, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Because this isn't just a promoter, it's the architect behind boxing's modern empire. He was born on June 8, 1979, and by all accounts, he was destined for the spotlight. But the glare he would eventually command wasn't from movie sets or music stages. It was from the blazing lights above sold-out boxing arenas, where fighters bled for legacy and millions watched the stories he orchestrated unfold. In a world where power is often inherited but rarely earned, Eddie stepped from the shadow of his father, Barry Hearn, the legendary founder of Matchroom Sport, and built an empire of his own. As the current chairman of Matchroom Sport and the Professional Darts Corporation, Eddie became a global force. From the streets of London to the Strip of Las Vegas, his name echoed in every arena where gloves touched and dreams clashed. Under his leadership, Matchroom transformed into a promotional juggernaut, fronting some of the biggest names in modern boxing. Anthony Joshua, Canelo Álvarez, Gennady Golovkin, Vasyl Lomachenko, Katie Taylor, icons whose greatness was elevated by Hearn's unmatched promotional flair. By 2025, his net worth is estimated at $50 million, a number that speaks not just to his success, but to his vision. Eddie didn't just chase deals, he built moments. He made fight nights feel like Hollywood premieres and turned unknown fighters into household names. But what drove him? What made a man with so much at his fingertips work like someone with everything to prove? To understand that, we need to go back to the beginning, before the sold-out stadiums, before DAZN, before the world started calling him the face of modern boxing. Because Eddie Hearn didn't stumble into the spotlight, he built it. Fresh out of school, Eddie started at a sports management firm representing golfers, but fairways weren't where his story would unfold. He shifted to promoting poker tournaments for Matchroom, landing them on Channel 4, Channel 5, even Sky Sports. But it wasn't the cards that lit the fire, it was the production, the spectacle, the feeling of turning an ordinary room into an event the whole country was watching. And that's when Eddie realized he wasn't in love with poker. He was in love with the stage. He wasn't looking for athletes. He was looking for moments that could captivate the world. That moment came in 2010 at a poker table, no less. Eddie met Audley Harrison and, in a twist of fate, agreed to help the fated Olympic star chase one last shot at glory. What followed was a title clash with David Haye, and with it, the birth of Matchroom boxing's modern era. He had tasted the chaos, the stakes, the drama of fight night, and he wanted more. Then came the signing that changed everything. In 2013, Eddie locked in Olympic gold medalist Anthony Joshua, an athlete who would become the face of British boxing and Eddie's greatest promotional canvas. From Wembley to Madison Square Garden, from Frock Rose to Joshua Klitschko, he crafted nights that didn't just fill stadiums, they echoed. In 2018, he shattered boundaries with a $1 billion streaming deal with DAZN, an audacious move that rewrote boxing's global future. Critics balked, purists scoffed, and yet the numbers didn't lie. From viral YouTuber bouts like KSI versus Logan Paul to the controversial Ruiz versus Joshua rematch in Saudi Arabia, Eddie turned every gamble into spectacle, every controversy into a headline. But for every triumph, there was pushback, accusations of selling out the sport, battles with rival promoters, high-stakes failures like the Fury-Joshua fight collapse or the crushing 10-0 loss in the Queensberry versus Matchroom event in Riyadh. Still, he kept moving, undaunted, always hunting the next grand stage. Whether it was co-promoting the historic Taylor versus Serrano showdown at Madison Square Garden or reigniting the Ben versus Eubank Jr. rivalry in 2025, Hearn wasn't just promoting fights, he was crafting legends. So what fuels this drive? Is it legacy? Ego? Or is there something deeper, something still unresolved, that pushes Eddie Hearn to bet big, again and again, even when the odds are stacked against him? Maybe the real fight has never been in the ring at all. Beyond the stadiums and the whirlwind of Fight Week, Eddie returns to Essex, to a life far removed from the chaos he commands. There, in a peaceful corner near Billericay, he shares his world with Chloe, his wife since 2010, and their two daughters, Isabella and Sophia. It's not the kind of life you'd expect from boxing's biggest showman. But maybe that's the point. Chloe, a sharp-minded entrepreneur who co-founded a beauty bar in Brentwood, prefers life off camera. While Eddie chases million-dollar deals across oceans, Chloe keeps their home anchored. She's not just his partner in marriage. She's the steady hand behind the curtain, the calm to his storm. Despite the relentless travel, the press conferences, the pressure, he finds time to be dad. Whether it's birthdays or bedtime stories, he never lets the spotlight steal those sacred moments. And yet, even with the family man persona, Eddie's connection to his fighters runs just as deep. But what makes these bonds so strong? Why do men like Tony Bellew and Anthony Joshua speak of him not just as a promoter, but as a friend? That loyalty isn't manufactured. It's earned. What does a life built on billion-dollar deals, sold-out arenas, and global fame really look like behind the scenes? For Eddie Hearn, it's not all champagne and super yachts. It's something far more deliberate. A lifestyle built not to impress, but to endure. Tucked away on Maskall's Lane near Brentwood, Eddie lives in the very estate his father Barry Hearn purchased decades ago for just £200,000, a place that's grown from family home into a fortress of ambition. Now worth millions, the estate isn't just where Eddie lives, it's where he builds his empire. Inside, there's a sleek personal office where negotiations happen over espresso and pressure. Outside, a $5 million boxing arena, built in his own backyard during the pandemic, still stands as one of his boldest moves, transforming his home into a televised battleground for elite fighters. And when he drives, Eddie drives with intention. A Ferrari F430 whispers elegance. A Rolls-Royce Ghost commands respect. A Lamborghini Aventador growls with edge, while his Range Rover keeps him comfortably grounded. It's not about showing off, it's about matching power with presence. But the lifestyle doesn't stop at engines and square footage. He's got property tucked away in Encino, Los Angeles, far from the cameras but close to Hollywood's elite. He's invested heavily in tech, streaming, and the digital revolution that's reshaping how we watch sports. Eddie lives in luxury, but you won't find him flashing gold watches or posing on yachts. He prefers the weight of legacy over the glare of excess. Still, for a man who already has so much power, family, wealth, what keeps him chasing more? What's the next stage for the man who's already changed the game? If you made it this far, then you already know this story was only the beginning. If you're craving more power, legacy, and the untold truths behind boxing's biggest stars, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you felt the journey. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that hits as hard as the legends themselves. Drop a comment. Who should we uncover next? And if you want to go even deeper, join the channel for exclusive perks, bonus content, behind the scenes, and early access you won't get anywhere else. But don't stop here. There's another story waiting for you on the screen right now. Click it. You don't want to miss what comes next.